The summer break has given us some things to think about, and some of them have been cooking up since the Azerbaijan GP, as they were now resolved by the FIA. We're talking about the regulations for the 2023 season, with teams and drivers having different opinions on these matters. The most vocal ones are surely the top 3 teams, but they don't have the same opinion on this matter, with Ferrari and Red Bull strictly voting against the rules and labeling them as too late to be brought, and Mercedes supporting them and saying that, at the end of the day, the safety is what matters the most. So, what would F1 look like from 2023 and from 2026 and beyond? Stick around to find out more. First, let's discuss the most recent change that is supposed to take place from the Belgian GP, which is the first race after the summer break, and it's taking place on the 28th of August. There have been lots of talks regarding the porpoising issue since the Azerbaijan GP, and teams like Mercedes were pushing hard to make changes in the regulations so that the problem will be fixed from the FIA's side. Mattia, Binotto and Christian Horner were really against the solution because, as they said, it's a one-team problem and there is no need for the governing body to get involved in that. Nevertheless, the FIA brought the decision to bring in metrics that will measure the vertical oscillations known as porpoising from the Belgian GP and beyond. Also, there have been some accusations from Mercedes and Russell that Red Bull and Ferrari have been cheating when it comes to the flexibility of their floors, which is allowed to be 2mm in the plank. According to them, Red Bull and Ferrari have found a way to circumvent the rules and to make sure that the measuring points in the plank wear are not worn down more than 2mm, while the other parts are flexing more and therefore allowing the car to gain more downforce and to not porpoise at all. Verstappen took a hit back, saying that Mercedes has the most flexible car on the grid, so it's not clear to him why they are protesting this matter. All things considered, if Ferrari and Red Bull have nothing to hide, this won't change a single thing. But if we see a sudden drop in the performance of Red Bull and Ferrari and Mercedes being put in the mix, then we're in it for an interesting remainder of the season. There have been lots of regulations that were brought for the 2023 season, and rest assured that Christian Horner was not happy a single bit about it. The main reason why is that his team is doing perfectly well, and he feels like the regulations are being brought just to help out Mercedes with their struggles. The same could be said for Binotto, who is also against these rules, and the fact that Mercedes' former personal advisor to Toto Wolff, Shayla Anrau, is currently working as the Secretary General of Motorsport just adds to the narrative that Mercedes could have an insider influence to the decisions on the FIA. These are just rumors, but the facts say that the FIA has voted on the 2023 regulations, which will see some changes when it comes to the floor of the cars. From 2022 and beyond, the F1 cars are using their floor to create downforce, something known as the ground effect. With all the additional weight from the tires and from the narrowing down of the cars, the porpoising phenomenon was really hard to be fixed, unless you're Adrian Newey and your team is Red Bull, so the FIA had to intervene in this matter. The original proposal was to raise the floor edges by 25mm, but after at least 6 out of the 10 teams were against the rules in the first place, the FIA had to find a common ground on many of the changes. This is why the floor edges will only be raised by 15mm, and although the changes are still likely to be controversial in principle, they are set to take place from the next season and beyond. Apart from the floor edges, the FIA plans to change the throat height of the diffuser, more precisely to raise it, and increase the diffuser edge stiffness, adding an additional sensor that is supposed to measure and effectively monitor the car's oscillations. There have been some changes when it comes to the safety of the cars, such as the roll hoop following the accident of Zhou in Silverstone. The roll hoop didn't work properly after Zhou's initial contact with Russell, which saw him turning upside down and rolling all the way to the safety fences where he was launched. Therefore, the FIA has decided to implement a change to the 2023 regulations, as they will create a more rounded top of the roll loop and furthermore change the test criteria to ensure it passes the tests at a higher point in the hoop. It's safe to say that Horner was really mad when the regulations took place because he felt like it was already too late to bring the regulations this far in the season. He was pushing for them to be brought prior to the Hungarian GP, and with them being postponed all the way until now, Horner will surely have a thing or two to say when it comes to this. Not just that, he already felt like they're favoring Mercedes as the only team that struggled that much from the changes of the regulations, so this will only add fuel to the fire for Horner. As for Mercedes, the team is keen on keeping their 2022 design, which was labeled as the revolutionary one when everybody first saw it in the Bahrain pre-testing. The no-pod side-pod design has been judged differently by the experts, with some of them calling it a revolutionary, while others calling it complete foolishness. Nevertheless, the Brackley-based team is looking forward to building their car in this design, and according to Andrew Chauvelin, who is a trackside engineer in Mercedes, they are on a good path. The team looks to solve their problems in the long term, and changing your bodywork in a hurry would have never given us some good results. According to Toto Wolff, the team's option to switch to another car concept is still open for the next season, but copying other teams is not in Mercedes' plans. We will never copy anybody else, but we may see things on other cars that we deem to do better. So these fundamental questions are being discussed at the moment and will be answered by September, said Wolff. Many have briefly forgotten the 2026 regulations, something that Porsche and Audi have been eagerly waiting to start their negotiations with F1 teams in order to join the sport. This has also been addressed in the council meeting as the FIA has finalized the 2026 regulations. There will be a new set of PU rules from 2026 and onwards, and the MGU-H part won't be available on the cars anymore. Apart from that, the sport will push the electrification more, with the electrical component now being able to deliver 350 kilowatts of power. This will be done to increase the road relevance of the hybrid power units. Apart from that, the engines will run on fully sustainable fuels, which was one of the main factors that Volkswagen was considering in order to enter the sport with two of its most formidable branches. The power units will still run on the same layout, which is the V6 1.6-litre engines. Turbochargers, ERS and MGU-K will remain in the sport, and the FIA has confirmed that there will be more design freedom when it comes to the upper combustion part of the ICE. This will be done in order to cater to the introduction of new fuel sources. Cost-saving measures were also announced, including the maximum number of test benches and the maximum number of development hours per year that manufacturers can commit to. Apart from that, the FIA has one main goal for the 2030 season and beyond, and that is the net zero aim. It has been yet again reaffirmed by the governing body in a statement. The FIA continues to push forward on innovation and sustainability. Across our motorsport portfolio, the 2026 Formula 1 power unit regulations are the most high-profile example of that mission. The introduction of advanced PU technology along with synthetic sustainable fuels aligns with our objective of delivering benefits for road cars and meeting our objective of net zero carbon by 2030, said FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem. What do you think of the new regulations that are set to take place in 2023 and 2026? Do you think that Horner and Binotto have a point when they say that Mercedes is the favored team for the 2023 season? And do you think that the Belgian GP will show that Ferrari and Red Bull have been cheating and the difference in the flexibility of the floors was that big? Let us know in the comments below.